In my interview, PB said to me, "You've had a glimpse, and then you will, and then you will, and then you will, and one day it will be the light of your very own Overself." It felt like he was taking me into a trance, the way he used that rhythmic phrasing, "and then you will, and then you will." Everything was completely still. I'd never felt such stillness in my life. It was profound. It was riveting. I didn't have the ability to think.
Whenever we ate together, whether it was lunch or dinner, PB would always say a short prayer. "Thank you for this food on the table. May it nourish our body, illumine our mind, strengthen our spirit. O mind of the world."
I walked in, and the first thing he said was, "When was the last time you ate meat?" And I said, "Last night." And he said, very seriously, what were the circumstances? So I told him that people had given me a party, and they had shish kebabs, and I really like shish kebabs. And he said, "You did the right thing, because there would have been such negativity if you hadn't eaten them." But then he said, "But never, ever again will you eat meat, ever." And you know, when a sage looks at you like that and says, "Never, ever," you don't.
There was this incredible graciousness. It didn't take too long until he puts us at ease, an incredible ease. When I first went in, my heart was racing. I told PB that my meditation was very dry. He said, "You know, for some people, to get that devotion back, it is very helpful to go into nature." I knew that, but I had forgotten. He also said that the same life force that is running through the trees is running through you.
I was reading PB, and I just stopped for a moment and closed my eyes, and I was flooded, just absolutely infinite golden light. It was just endless and golden and totally full. And then the phone rang, and it was gone.
The first time I saw PB, when he walked down a path, it was like an earthquake. It was so powerful, just seeing this little man, this so-called little man, just walk down the path. Power, staggering power. It was like the earth shook, the world changed. It was very unusual.
On one occasion, PB was sitting next to me on a train, and he told me I had to help my father get on the quest. And I thought to myself, but didn't say, that my father was already so ethical. And PB immediately turned to me, exactly as if I had spoken out loud, and said, "But ethics aren't enough."
When I came to see PB, I arrived late because of my travel. My hair was standing on end. My big socks were curling around my feet. I pressed the bell on his door, and there he was. I looked into his eyes directly because I wanted to know if he really knew what he was writing about. I know that sounds arrogant. I got such a deep impression of his peace that was radiating from him. I knew it was inappropriate to kneel there on the staircase and in that setting, but my soul was kneeling to him when he stood in the door. My soul was on its knees. I had never met anyone before that had had that effect on me. I felt awe, and I was not a humble person. This feeling remains today, that he is my master, and I bow down to him. He ushered me in, and we sat down right away. He didn't ask why I was late, nothing. This peace and absolute silence descended in the room, on me, on us, and I felt myself whirling toward the center, some center, not my own, but maybe of the earth or the universe, I can't tell. And then all impressions ended, and I have no idea how long we were sitting like that. At least a half an hour. Afterwards, we went out in the kitchen, and I was giggling like a child without inhibition. Like a great weight had been lifted from my shoulders.
PB stated to me that he had very advanced psychic powers in his young days, and that he loved the world of psychic phenomena. He had a choice to make between developing into a world-famous psychic or giving up his powers in the pursuit of spiritual development. And he said that this was the hardest choice he ever had to make in his life because he loved the psychic world. He made that choice after a dark time of being racked with indecision, and his psychic abilities were taken from him in the space of a week. When we had our conversation on this topic, I asked him whether or not he got his powers back after his spiritual ascent. And he said yes, but in a different way. He no longer consciously worked with and used the energy, but it allowed it to flow through and use him. It is, I think, a real distinction. He was like a lightning rod for subtle energies, in that he attracted them just by being himself. And as far as I could see, he left them alone and left the results up to karma.
One of my lasting impressions is that sense of stillness and peace. And then out of that was coming these words. I felt like it was from deep, coming out rather than coming down, as if the person talking to me was on the top of the ocean and something very deep down was coming up. The peace and stillness were so palpable, yet they weren't broken by his speaking.